Honestly, to finish off, I do think look, probably it'll be me. But we'll see what happens. I don't. Oh, we can go back to the draft now because this is interesting. This is a hero that. What are your thoughts on the Earthspike change? Because I think a really big issue with Lion is the laning stage. Do you think the Earthspike is going to help out a little bit there with just the damage got increased by like 15-10 at some of the levels? So nothing drastic, but do you feel like that could help out with some of the laning issues that he has?
Nah. I mean, this is the issue with going a Disruptor this early on when you've got heroes like the Naga Siren still available that are still kind of busted, where I think Unity Gaming would have loved to go a Dazzle here, but you really can't get away with Dazzle Disruptor, you know? Like, there's just not enough reliable setup there. They just needed something that was able to play in the position 4, that also provided a stun and a bit of burst damage, that was also semi-able to deal with a Naga Siren. I really don't hate this. I don't hate this at all. I love the Spirit Breaker against these sorts of heroes that are just squishy as hell, that you're able to just get it on top of immediately.
Velky's played at mid, I believe, so far through the groups. In fact, yes, he has.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be Seimei playing it, don't you think?
Velky has played at mid through the group, so they can put it mid if they want to. So there's flex for Purple Paradox.
I don't know if they can against Alina. That's my only issue, right?
Yeah, probably not.
What else they look to go for? Could they Zeus or something and just go like this global strat with the Spirit Breaker and then the Zeus for the damage? Like SB into Lina is a pretty horrible lane. At least Zeus kind of breaks even. Sand King's there as like.
What?
Okay, so they just need to see a lot of setup, right? They need a lot of vision to scout out the charge when it happens, and Sand King's one of those better heroes at being able to counter initiate. So maybe they're thinking about that. Maybe it's just again a lot of magic damage to be able to deal with the Naga Siren. I'm a little surprised they didn't go for the Pudge with this option, just because I feel like it would have been a great Pudge game against, the likes of the Snapfire, which isn't very mobile, really good at dealing with the Naga Siren illusions. You've already got Alina, who's going to be doing the carrying for you. So yeah, I feel like Pudge would have been great.
Yep. That's a really good call. I can kind of see some of the value with the Sand King against the Naga, but this, like, Jiayu likes a hero, plays a pretty good Sand King. This hero just feels very, very weird right now. So I'm a bit
Can I make an argument for
it? Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I feel like Sand King got really weak because against any hero that likes to buy BKB, you suck, basically, right? Like, you just pop BKB and then suddenly an offlaner does basically 0 damage, unless it's like the perfect ultimate. This game, Naga doesn't want to buy BKB, Mirana doesn't want to buy BKB, and Snap probably doesn't want to buy BKB. So realistically, it's only Spirit Breaker that's a BKB buyer this time around. So I feel like it could maybe work. And they do end up getting rid of the Zeus, by the way. So my global strat, I'll take that one.
That's a win in your books. Are you? Yeah, I suppose now you've got 2 ways to deal with the Naga illusions as well. Like Sand King can kind of help with the deep push, but also in the middle of the team fight.
Yeah, it's not been bad.
Yeah. Okay. Worried about?
I mean, against a Spirit Breaker in the lane, you'd really like assuming it's a 3. They're gonna show now some sort of hero that's gonna reveal, the position of everything basically, but. What could they look to go for? Dragon?
Insta pick. Good call. Yeah, good call.
I'm surprised it lasted that long, to be honest. All right. Which draft do I like more? I mean, I kind of like Unity's draft, but I really didn't like how they played last game. Yeah. So, which is the stronger weight? I mean, okay, it's a Spirit Breaker into the Pudge. I feel like Pudge should win that pretty confidently. I feel like Knight should have just enough, a fine enough time against Valky in that mid lane. You've got, again, like, let's call it 3 counters to the Naga Siren in the Lion, the Sand King, and the Pudge. I'm gonna say Unity for this one.
I can definitely see an avenue for Purple Paradox being able to take this game, though. I think they are not very cooldown reliant, and if Valky has a pretty good game, which I don't know if it's going to happen because the lane versus Lina is I mean, it's a winning lane for Lina, and we've seen how that can shape up. So if Valky's able to get a pretty good blink timing, if Spirit Breaker is able to get a pretty early Shadow Blade timing as well, Disruptor's food, Lion's food, honestly, 4 heroes of food. Sand King, Lina, I'd put in that category as well. The Moonlight Shadow can really help them get pickoffs. If Nagasarian gets a good start as well and you push out the side lanes, it's going to make it easier to get those kills on the map. So that is kind of the avenue I see for Purple Paradox to win this game. They're going to go kill after kill after kill. If they don't, if Unity are able to get that kind of ball going, their items going, I 100% agree. I kind of like their lineup a little bit more, but I can see the avenue for victory here for Purple Paradox.
It's a big weakness for both teams, though, in that their push sucks. You know, like Spirit Breaker doesn't push at all. Pudge doesn't really push at all. I'm not talking push in the lane. I'm talking push in towers. Realistically, it's only like Naga for Purple Paradox and Lina for Unity. Outside of that, not too many tower hits are going to be taking place. So they're going to need to rely on the creeps quite heavily. And I'm honestly not sure who that's going to be favoring, right? Because if you're relying on the creeps to do a lot of the work, like you push out the lane and the creeps do it, I guess you're kind of okay with that, because the thing you're mostly worried about on Unity is Spirit Breaker punishing you while you're pushing a lane out yourself. So if they're able to get these heroes that are able to push from Fog, then it's going to be relatively okay. I feel like Disruptor's one of those that can do it. I feel like Sand King can do it as well. As long as he's got instantly playing around that Sandstorm and maybe around the tree line, it should be fine. Lion's job this game is not to push out lanes. If you do, you're just going to be food. So we'll see how it goes. And hopefully Knight has either learned his own lesson or gotten a stern talking to from the rest of his team, because he got caught out far too many times in that previous game, and that was without a Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, so now our question is, how many times could it be with a Spirit Breaker? So we'll...
All right, I want an over-under 5. Over or under 5 times?
Over.
Wow, no faith in Wai Chen.
No. Sorry, sir. Oh, I mean, did you disagree?
I am abstaining from this one.
Yeah, of course you are. Of course. Try and throw me a question that puts me under the bus, and you're just gonna step to the sideline.
You know it.
Classic.
You know it.
Absolute classics. All right.
They'll know that this is this sports team, by the way. Although,
that's not high ground you want to run up to. Oh, Leap leveled up to stop them getting first blood, so that is kind of a win. Meanwhile, MKS is starting to get surrounded, but I don't think he cares too much. He's going to try and just chase down Velky, and it looks like they have zoned away Purple Paradox from some of the runes.
They got the D-ward off, though, which is kind of nice. I mean, Lina does rely on it, excuse me, a little bit, to be able to freely CS in that mid lane, just in case the lane pushes down into the river. Decent hook, but what does MKS have to play around with now? Like, you've got no mana, so that hook's going to be pretty much useless for the laning stage. You can't go back to base and then TP out, because that's just going to waste too much time. I'm not really sure what's going on here.
Yeah, it's I don't think it's right or wrong, but it's just kind of a interesting thought that he hasn't gone mangoes, which is something we're really starting to see, of course, after TI, and so far through the groups I've been seeing a lot of people go for it. Heard Aoi talk about it on his stream as well. Like, and I feel like for MKS this would be something pretty nice for him. He's got pretty high base regen already, and when you pop a couple mangoes in, you're gonna get a lot of value out of that over the levels.
Yeah, I mean, Mango's great, even just for the passive regen.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Passive regen is great.
I'd like that's
just fed one over by LWW, so okay, if they can make that work.
Need some body blocks, and in fact, MKS with all the base damage is going to be able to secure first blood, so get some flesh heap stacks for the boy as well.
Radiant's courier has been killed. Dire's courier has been killed.
So
Salad and Moody just trying to bully each other a little bit here.
Yeah,
gonna be Moody that gets the better end of that.
I think Salad's really going to struggle in this top lane. I wonder if he actually goes... Actually, I suppose you probably go Mana Drain at level 2 to help deal with one of the illusions, but Chill's going to send just his Naga illusions towards the Lion and to be able to help out with the Mirana. Like, you don't want to send them at the Sand King, because Jiayu will just play on top of the creep wave and get rid of them pretty easily.
Yep, they pop pretty damn quickly. So we'll see how he looks to adjust it. I'm also wondering how much of a movement's going to come towards this mid lane as well, right? Because Knight, we've seen he's vulnerable to getting ganked, and I'd say they've got two, honestly three pretty good heroes being able to make that movement in the Mirana with the arrow as a response to the Avatos combo, same sort of thing with the Snapfire stun. You probably don't want to make the movement as Seimei, but you can, of course, especially once you've got that boost of speed just to get there that little bit faster. LWW getting really aggressive here, trying to bully out two heroes on his own. See if they got a lucky bash there, not going to be the case. Might be dying here though.
Yeah, this is looking like he's stepped a little bit too far. Oh, he's just baited him. He's just a master baiter. Gets a kill for MKS and another stack. Nicely done. Yeah, what you say that's worth? I say that's yeah. Oh. Come on. Charge it? Oh, I thought he was going to go for it. Charge was up shortly. Second point in the bash, but not to be.
Yeah, that's always the case. The master beta lures in PP.
What?
You heard me.
No, I have no idea what you just said, actually. Master beta losing PP?
Lures in.
Oh.
Lures. God, you're Australian. You're meant to understand this accent.
I mean, that was too fast for me.
Too fast, too furious.
Ooh, booty, look at that. Yeah, I know, right? Easy Corey snipe. Love to see it, shall you? And they do get the successful pull off, and it looks like his lane is off to a really good start here for the Sand King. 23 last hits, and of course, this is a free lane for Xiaoyu, which is an important thing. Sand King can be a little bit vulnerable through the early levels, so he's got the Ring of Health already to sustain him in the lane. Going to be going with the Soul Ring next, and are we expecting just a blink after this, or will he go for a different item before the blink is completed?
I'd say the most important thing for him is just being able to stay in the lane, stop the Naga from picking up the farm. So I would say...
in the river salad. Should be able to set up for the arrow. Finds a connection, and Velky is able to secure a nice little kill here for the Tiny. Very important considering his lane matchup versus Selena. In fact, he's got a little bit higher net worth. Glimpse back, sets up for the hook. MKS, very nicely done, but still Cookie over the field. Stumped is still able to bring down MKS, and it gets a streak as well. So this, honestly, not the worst hero to get experience and gold on. You're probably happy with that from Purple Paradox.
Yeah, he ended up losing a lot of gold there on MKS as well. He actually had over 1,100, so losing some of that unreliable gold means that he's not going to have enough to be able to buy the Vanguard straight out. Of course, Vanguard's going to be a great ability, a great item to be able to contest against the Naga Siren and even just go for these MKS. You dive a little bit deep there, my man. Ooh.
They got Salad coming, though. Nice hook, MKS. After the first two hooks, he's been much more on point with them. And now Seimei charges up. Glimpse still on cooldown. He didn't charge out of the lane, though. Just went over to Salad, so... And Seimei TP'd back down. I guess not the biggest issue, because he can always charge back to rejoin. But 5 flesh heap stacks already for MKS.
And there we go. He's going to go ahead and get the Vanguard now. Sees the TP coming back, but... Unfortunately, LWW just not in position to be able to get the Glimpse back immediately because that would have just been a crushed lane if that was the case. But all 3 lanes right now for Unity going really solid. Getting charged from base though. Has to be very careful. Should know, although it's not too often that you're going up against a Spirit Breaker, so maybe it's one of those instances where you just have a moment of forgetfulness. Here we go, the aggression though. This means one thing and one thing only. Good hook.
So I have the Cookie to play with. I'm actually going to back off there. With this top lane just going incredibly well for Xiaoyu, we're seeing Seller continuing to rotate, looking to try and play with the Lina to help secure some of the runes. Unfortunately, it does spawn top, so Belky's got a DD in the arsenal for the Tiny. We'll see what he can get out of this for the moment, but it might be a bit of an issue here for Purple Paradox early on, knowing that Seller can always be that +1.
Movements have been pretty solid right now. Again, he's not one of those people that's just going to be enabled to sit in the lane and farm. So right now he's going to be playing a little bit more of the disruption style. They should know that that's warded as well. He instantly did a 180 and backed away once the Naga Siren moved a little bit further towards him. Might be trying to get a kill onto Muddy here, but won't
Bottom
Land with
lane.
that one, unfortunately.
Same might be in some trouble, but Stomped is going to be able to backstab MKS. An angle they weren't
Vanguard,
expecting, but yeah, the Vanguard is going to be enough to help keep him alive. Meanwhile, Salad does kill Moody, but also Velky just chucks out a random tree to be able to find the
Nice
tree.
hook.
Lane under the tower. Stomp. They're going to get both of them. Oops, Seimei actually glimpsed away. Apologies. Went for my stream. I thought they got the kill, but now Seimei might not be in fighting shape here. MKS 3 points in the right. Seimei's going to go for the TP out. He will be able to make it.
Good look to turn and fight. Maybe not expecting that he's only got the 1 point in the flesh heap, but I'd say it was a very killable pudge, even with the Vanguard. Looking to take the safer route, though, on Seimei. Instantly gets back to the lane. We've actually gone the 1 point in the Wraith Band as well, just for a little bit of that extra armor, bit of increased attack speed. Means more chances for the bash to proc, I suppose.
Mid lane, they're wrapping on Knight. Arrow's already been used, but Velky does have a double damage rune. See if he's going to be able to catch up for the toss. Xiaoyu's going to rotate as well. Is he fast enough with the Burrow Strike? Just clips onto the Tiny. Knight, can he slip away now? They can keep the Lina alive. That's such a huge exchange. Leap forward, and one more right click will be able to bring him down. So both the position 2s exchange their life, but it looks like it's not going to be the worthwhile sacrifices. The supports as well from Purple Paradox will be killed off.
Just looking to put much more points into the Sacred Arrow than what we look to see a lot of the time. You know, the position 5 style popularized by Snaking was all around maxing out the Starstorm, being a big damage dealer in these team fights. Yeah, the arrow was important, but still just level 1, 3.2 seconds, excuse me, stun feels like plenty. But
Bottom lane.
this time around, you've just got so many setups.
Really nicely done from LWW. Just going to drop the ward on the high gun, so they do ping it out. Was the only reason they're able to get the glimpse away. Sorry, glimpse back, I should say, to MKS. So, man, this is a night and day start here. I should say difference from game 1 and game 2 with how the lanes have gone for Unity.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it just feels so much stronger all around.
Lane. Action continues to break out. Velky cut down Laguna Blade, puncturing the health pool of the Tiny. We are, again, 18 kills before the 10-minute mark.
And again, most of the time I would feel like, you know, there still is going to be this worry of the Naga Siren, but it's not as big of an issue because, again, their tower push is really lacking. So I wonder if this is going to be a case of, do you go for a bit of a desperation play? You're approaching the 10-minute mark. Do you maybe make a rotation down towards the bottom side with that siege creep so that you can open up the map a little bit and enable Naga Siren to take this bottom area? I suppose the other side to that argument is, do you really need to do that? Because right now, Trill is relatively happy farming inside of his own jungle, so there's no one else that can really do that right now. So I think they might be happy enough to
Bottom lane?
not do that.
MKS might be in trouble. Stomp's trying to get some distance away to play with the Mortimer Kisses. They're going to the Nether Strike to hold him in place for a moment as well, so that's a pretty decent streak again to give over to Stomped.
Didn't use the Dismember, which I was a little surprised about. No points in the Bulldoze either, so it's not like it would have been a super short duration on one.
Smoke up, Velky. It's actually going to pop on the low ground, but they do have a ward. And look at the counter smoke, because Xiaoyu already has a Blink Dagger. Going to look to try and reveal it onto a core, but unfortunately it will just be Moody that they run into. And what a timing out of this blink on Xiaoyu. I did see he was farming up a stack of the Ancient, so a big reason of why he already has this one completed. Jump in. LWW is going to be nearby for the Static Storm. Trill gets this song off. He was just too late with the Static Storm. Oh no, he went for the Glimpse instead. Oh.
Yeah, Salad letting him know. Don't do that one again. But I feel like you still... Obviously, you would love to get the kill. You're generally okay with this. You're going to be able to push the tier 1 tower. You've got the siege creep available. Mirana coming through. Going to look to arrow the siege creep just to try and slow things down a little bit. Will they go for the dive? And yeah, they will with the blink.
Zap.
Yep.
Easy charge.
Easy charge, but might result in that tower being defended. And then they actually look to perhaps get one in exchange. Any TPs available? Nothing on Sand King. Won't have the mana to do anything with it. Nothing on Lion. Pudge retreated out of the lane, so yeah. Purple Paradox happy enough.
Radiant's bottom tower.
You say that, but mid tower actually went down.
Okay, not happy.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he's not too happy actually with the T1 going down. Knight just bodied it. I don't think, yeah, he didn't have a DD or anything like that. I mean, the lane, it does do a lot of damage regardless.
Nope.
No, it looks like Velky had the last power in, so we'll see smoke coming out from Purple Paradox though. Gonna be inside the jungle, even Moonlight as well to try and catch one off guard. It might be MKS as the target. Nether Strike to start, once again being able to set up for the Morning with Kisses, and the chain control making sure that MKS won't even be able to get the Dismember. Hang on, Xiao Yu into the middle with the Burrow Strike, but he's gonna be cautious now. Maybe they've used too much to even get the kill onto the Sand King, which would have been huge to find considering his position and the net worth. But regardless, Purple Paradox do bring down the position 1 on Radiant. They're getting backstep though. Look at the pincer. Sailed from the north, so the rest of the team, LWW, should be able to get in range for the Glimpse. Instead, tries to get the cookie on over, but too fast on the fingers this time, and now they'll drag back another one. A Snapfire will end up joining the Tiny in the grave as the bodies are littering the ground.
Game's been a lot easier for LWW so far. You know, the laning stage went a lot better. 1, 2, and 11 so far for his team. Really enabling a lot of these kills through the Glimpse, going for that one more style that, you know, OG originally popularized, and I've seen so many other teams, PSG, LGD, at least the existing version of it, did it so well too. So we'll see if he's able to continue that one. Of course, once the Spirit Breaker gets closer towards that Shadow Blade, he's only about 350 gold away, so might have to adjust his gameplay, excuse me, in the next little bit.
Is that the last?
Seems like Unity shouldn't have to be too concerned about this Naga, right? It's not really like it's a ticking time bomb of a Naga game.
No, I mean, you're going to have a Pudge with an Aghanim Scepter. You're going to have the Sand King, who, again, you can be as tanky as you want with your real guy, but if you've got a ton of magic damage for all the illusions, Naga's ability to impact game drops off significantly. And then you've got the Lion on top of that.
Oh, Trill. Oh, the scan's going to be on the mark. They know exactly where the real Naga Siren is, and the magic burst should be plentiful. With the Finger of Death being utilized there. Great smoke, Zealot and Xiao Yu in combination together, but look at the rebuttal. Same charging in the middle, going to be targeting the line at the moment. The rest of the team soon to connect as the arrow pierces the line. An easy kill, but they need more out of it. That might come off the back of the Nether Strikers once again. Targeting down Xiao Yu, but the Static Storm's going to hold them back for the moment. Off to the left side, Knight trying to bring down Moody, and it will be successful thanks to the help of the double damage rune. So in the end, yes, you get the kill onto Zealot's Lion, but still a big trade for Radiant. And they're even going to put some damage into the tier 2 mid, forcing out a Glyph.
Yeah, why not? Top lane's pushed in pretty well as well, and with the Glyph being used, the creeps weren't in range, so you're going to be able to start hitting into that tower a little bit too. It feels like they want to still play, not necessarily passive, but just let Knight get his Boots of Travel, let MKS get his Aghanim Scepter. The big thing as well is that Seimei had enough gold again to buy that Shadow Blade, but ended up dying, lost 150 of it, and now he's just got to go back, and I think he might have actually sold something so that he could buy it. He really feels like he needs to be a bit more of a presence on the map than he has been so far. Here we go, instantly uses the charge onto the Lina.
Alright, well, they're going to miss on the arrow, but it should not matter in the end. BKB won't protect him. A little bit too late again with getting that one off. Bottom lane. They're setting up on Trill. They got the lane ward. Did Naga?
So that's the death that we are okay with, right? Because that's the reveal of the Shadow Blade. You didn't know that it was coming. You just killed him. You don't expect that to instantly come after a death like that. So we'll give that one to Knight. If there's like more than 2 or 3 beyond this one, then we're scratching our heads a little bit, because he's had plenty of time to learn and adjust and understand what exactly he's playing up against.
Stomped? Xiao Yu considering about the epicenter. They want to take the fight though. So they made charge in the middle. The Delta split away from the Static Storm, and the epicenter is perfect. They'll get the glimpse back at least. The vision was there to drag the Snapfire. Do they want to take the fight though with Purple Paradox? They're hesitant about reinitiating. Seimei off to the right side, but the ward down on the low ground, they were able to scout up the Spirit Breaker, but Velky maybe to the rescue with a jump in with the Avalanche, but the damage is not enough. Again, they're not committing. The boys don't know whether they should go in or out, and it might cost them. As Moody's in trouble, Knight trying to pump out the damage. Finally, they're trying to rotate down. Trill drops the Song. Or do they want to try and target down, though? Song sets up for the arrow. It's going to be Knight once again. They need to split away from the Burrow Strikers. Xiaoyu gives Knight a little bit of breathing room. Your Scepter going to be able to set up for the LSA. Knight can now play around with the BKB, but he's not right-clicking anyone. Meanwhile, to the northern side, though, MKS walks on to the middle, gets a dismember. Arrow. Oh, the arrow got the connection onto the... Oh, Knight got taken by the neutrals. What is going on? MKS onto Stomp, but Velky with a jump in. And Velky, oh, he's going to come out on top, reaping the rewards. Xiaoyu, he wants to kill, though. Celad's here. Potential use of the Finger of Death, but Seimei's going to stop that short. In he goes with another strike. Great use of the cookie as well. A messy engagement, but it'll be Purple Paradox that come out on top, I believe.
Yeah, the fight went long enough that there were like 3 different fight recaps that happened, so can't tell you who ends up big, but there were a lot of kill streaks being taken away. With Stomped being able to pick up a decent amount of them. Valky really recovering after what was a horrible laning stage. He's overtaken Lina. That's how impactful that one single team fight was for him. Picks up the Echo Saber, a lot more of that consistent damage. Knight's got to be careful about playing on this top side. I guess it's okay if hooks, onto Seimei.
Yeah, back up the top though. Let's see Knight. Oh, they get the jump. Is the arrow perfect? It will be. No potential. I mean, the BKB was still on cooldown actually anyway, so beautifully done.
Wasn't
like you
lane.
Yeah, well.
Wasn't
All right, we'll give it to him. Pudge might be a bit more of a difficult beast, and they do have this Cliff Ward as well, freshly placed, so they know that they're still sticking around. Bottom lane, Stomped. Looks like they should be able to secure the kill. Xiaoyu into the tree line. You would think so indeed.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Xiaoyu having to use the Yule Scepter just for that little bit of extra damage that's not going to go through the raindrop. It's a good pickup when you consider that you're going up against someone like the Spirit Breaker who relies on the bulldoze.
And even, I mean, Sand King is a hero that has big issues in regards to your mobility across the map, so just being able to build the Windlace into something, you kind of want the Windlace and a little bit of value out of that as well. But like you said, really, the big thing you're looking for is the active versus Spirit Breaker.
So it's going to change, of course, once Spirit Breaker gets into that BKB, and then you're probably not honestly popping the bulldoze at that stage, but it's still going to be pretty devastating to have all of that extra movement speed.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It's pretty poor though on Mr. Spirit Breaker. They're actually going to look to defend top. Xiaoyu off the mark with the Burrow Strike. Dyro not going to have all the numbers to be able to take this engagement. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the map though, MKS, he's going to be chilling for the moment. Back to top we go as Tiny. That's a big kill for them to be able to find onto Velky. Static Storm with the Finger of Death use to be able to secure the kill. And yeah, meanwhile, I think there was a 1v1 going on between the Naga and the Pudge, and both of them are going to be fine, so we've got some kills going the way of Unity.
I'd say Pudge wins that 8 times out of 10, like especially with the state that he's at right now. Of course, it's another one of these games where Naga Siren, she just soaks up so much farm on the map, right? So the rest of the team really does feel like they're suffering. But I don't think you're all that concerned on Unity to let Naga get as farmed as she is, because again, you've got direct counters to her. She's not going to be this ridiculously strong, unbeatable beast. You just got to make sure that you're keeping up in farm, you're punishing the ones that are able to punish you. So if they're able to get consistent kills onto Seimei in particular, then I think you're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, and they are getting those kills as well. 6 deaths here for Seimei, so... and you kind of brought it up earlier in this game, but if you take a look at LWW's KDA, he's involved in 19 out of the 26 kills. It's been just a completely different performance from him. He's got the 8th lens not completed as well, so it's going to make those glimpse catches even easier and just help out further with his positioning to maybe land that Static Storm and hold them down with the kinetic field.
I need to zoom out your camera just to see the full extent of the glimpse range on that one, because he is kind of nutty. Hasn't even got the keen, no, not keen optic, psychic headband.
Top lane.
Rip keen optic.
Xiaoyu might be in some trouble. Valkyrie's going to be nearby as well. Waiting for the full duration out of the stun control. That'll make sure they secure the kill onto the Sand King. Radiant, they are starting to make their way towards top. LWW is going to drop the ward to be able to glimpse back Mr. Valky. And MKS is going to be nearby to be able to jump in as well. They are starting to TP though. It's only Moody at the moment. Let's see if the charge is going to be fast enough to knock him away. But still, the AoE rot damage secures the kill. And now the goons have showed up. Double zap down to the life of Seimei. And MKS has got the blink into the hook. A nice sidestep. Still, at least they get the vision to glimpse back. Som's going to try and turn around with the Mortar of Kisses. But it instantly stopped in its tracks thanks to the Earth Spike. And they're going to add another one to the tally.
Again, this is exactly the sort of game plan that Unity Gaming are wanting, right? They're like, Naga, who cares? We'll kill literally everyone else. And that probably, maybe it made them commit a little bit further, the fact that they connected the full kill onto Xiaoyu. But he actually had his courier just waiting to the south side of the Roche Pit with a completed Lincolns on it. If that happens, he doesn't get double stunned by the Spirit Breaker, and he's probably able to at least get off his own stun, his own Sandstorm, to perhaps survive that little bit longer for his team to make that full connection.
Oops. Easy kill. Easy solo there. So that is, it's actually hard now completed for Trill, and he has a BKB queued up as well for the Naga Siren. So a little bit of an adaptation in regards to maybe the cookie cutter build that we see often.
I think he knows that he doesn't need, like, you don't want to be the only one with farm on your team. So this BKB is like, a bit more of a selfless item as opposed to a selfish item, because you just need to get involved in some of these team fights. The BKB is going to allow that. It's going to give you a little bit more net worth over to your Spirit Breaker, get him into that BKB and Aghanim Scepter, get it into the Tiny as well. He's already picked up his own Ags, but I mean, if it just allows him to continue that farm, get back into another Echo Saber, into a BKB, then you're feeling confident on Purple Paradox.
So really important tower for Dire to be able to find. If they can get this tier 1, just gonna... I really think, importantly, it's just for Roche. A little bit of map control that won't be there for Unity to set up a formation, TP in to smoke, or have some extra vision down around the area, because I think both sides will be looking towards Roche very shortly.
Yep. Not even risking a couple of right clicks by Valky. Maybe just not wanting to commit while that glyph's available. Moody putting himself up at the front, and yeah, they're going to give it over to Valky eventually. So
another
tower taken away.
Able to catch him out from afar, but the ward on the Hurricane also sees Trill. They're going to be cautious because Xiaoyu keep his in, so he's at the ready in the tree line, but they're going to be able to back themselves away. Selid still getting scouted out. This is really deep. Have to get the kill and look to get out pretty fast, and well, in fact, the rest of Unity won't look to try and catch him out once they're deep inside their own territory.
There we go. They get rid of the Observer Ward as well. It was scouting out a lot of their movements. So, I mean, you've got some okay Roche taking potential, but it's really all around the Lina. And I feel like as long as you're sitting yourself up here to potentially go for taking a tier 2 tower of your own, I feel like you're not too unhappy on Purple Paradox. Like, they got the kills.
Oh, Xiaoyu just ran out of the sentry range. Seimei was charging up the Nether Strike. They're going to smoke. They're in a great position to pop the smoke, though. Seimei tries to get it off, but he's going to be disrupted, but the LSA holds him down. Look at Knight going to work. Instantly gets a kill into the Spirit Breaker, but it's not looking like a good start for Radiant, as Trill's going to be able to backstab. Wants the target down with the Sand King, but he's lacking the control, so we'll offer for the Song instead. How can they set this up here? Valky's ready with a tree volley from downtown. Easy kill onto Xiaoyu. It's going to be all on MKS to turn the team fighters to Naga. 4-star on the high ground. He's going to try and push himself down, but won't be able to. A TP out. Stop short. As Radiant, even though it didn't look good to start, they will be able to clean up as MKS comes in huge.
It's the power of the Pudge, man. It's just so much magic damage with such a huge AoE that something like a Naga Siren often gets caught out. Will he throw the hook? Not quite, but yeah, you just see, like, first joined teamfighter feel by the Naga Siren, and really didn't feel like she had too much of an impact. The one that cleaned up those 2 kills was Moody, with the Starstorm coming through with the Mirana.
was just double checking the build to see if he was going Dagon again, but no, we ain't getting no crazy stuff. Goddamn Force and Lotus Orb, disappointing.
Disappointing. It's a great Lotus Orb game.
Yeah, without doubt. You couldn't really ask for much better of a Lotus Orb game.
Nope.
So
you gotta make space for Samey. He needs this BKB so badly.
Has he got detection? No, no detection.
He does.
Oh, well, yeah, Sella does. Samey does not, though, so I'm gonna pop out, just kind of scouting. We've got a very even game, though, even though it's a bit of a kill advantage over to Uni. 2,000 net worth lead for the boys on Radiant. Nothing crazy, though. It's been a bit back and forth, kind of the momentum swinging from either side.
Mm-hmm.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Have a look at the neutral item situation for both of these teams. I mean, you got some really solid ones coming through. Naga Siren even getting the Mindbreaker, so not even needing to go down the, well, needing to use the Orchid to secure a lot of these kills onto supports. Might be able to just use the Mindbreaker. And with that simple kill, yeah. They got the control around Roshard.
Ooh, this is a really good ward from Radiance. It's scouting them. They're positioning out at the moment, and there's going to be nowhere they can contest, it looks like. So, free Roche given over to the boys on Unity.
Yep. Should be pretty obvious, though. No one was defending bottom. No one was mid. Knight's going to relish having that second life.
Dude, what are you trying to say?
Everyone loves the second life.
He's, where is he sitting? Third in the net worth at the moment. Going to be working on the Silver's Edge as his next item. Some nice.
So I know that that's obviously it sucks to give away Roche for free, but in the meantime, you've got your BKB on Naga Siren, you've got your BKB on Spirit Breaker. He's almost level 15 on Spirit Breaker as well, so you've actually got a huge amount of damage potential that's actually going to convert, I guess you could say. Who's this charge coming in onto, though?
Onto MKS. They got the ward on the high gun, though, so MKS can react.
Not sure if that's the best target.
He gets the BKB off before, and the arrow's going to be able to stop the Dismember short. Still, MKS can play around with his own magic immunity, but the chain control needs to be perfect to prevent that, and it is. Now they want more, though. Chill. Song to be able to set up. They're all grouped up. Velky with the combination. It's onto LWW. They get the easy kill. They're going to look for the other support out to the right side. Targeting down Cellar at the moment. Xiao, you might be able to turn it around with the Epicenter. Solo onto Velky at the moment, but the damage, it's not enough. They're split up, and now they're relying on MKS to be able to re-enter the team fight. He'll be able to do so with ease. So a kill onto the Snapfire. Both supports going down from Purple Paradox, but Radiant, definitely not the fight you'd be hoping for with this Aegis advantage.
Definitely not. They still maintain it, but MKS, he buys back for that, and there isn't a huge gain that you get from it either. There's no towers being threatened. There's no Naga that ends up dying, so it is certainly quite worrisome that they're letting this potential big lead start to slip away. They've got all the tools that they need to be able to close this one out. It just comes down to the execution at the end of the day, and well, something like just channeling a full Dismember, it was under their vision as well, right? So they didn't even have they saw the arrow coming in, and he just decided to tank it, thinking that he was beefy enough.
Loaded to the gills.
We'll see if it's going to hurt them in the long run, giving a Purple Paradox a lot of gold, a lot of experience. Bulky getting pretty close to the Daedalus. Kind of mentioning that, all that Radiant Smokers 4. Valky's in a pretty good position to be able to pop it. They got the ward on the higher gun, though, so the instant jump in. Static Storm laid down as well. Tiny's pretty beefy. Can they get him out of the main damage focal point here? Avalanche to hold them back. Valky's just going to try and turn and do as much damage as he can, but it's not enough for them to be able to capitalize. Samey, though, so wanting to charge in. Mortimer Kiss is getting laid down as well. A hefty commitment just to try and deal with the Disruptor. So Jiao Yu's going to be able to jump over the tree line, holding the Spirit Breaker into place. It'll enable the rest of the boys to be able to jump into the middle and drag back Samey.
He's going for more. He's got the BKB available. He's got the Dismember available as well on MKS. And finally a successful fight, taking out 2 cores just for the cost of a single support. with the Lina, with that secondary life, with the siege creep as well. They want to look to try and close up some of this map for themselves. They've even found out Mirana on the top side, but Moody, very cute little plays coming through there from Xiao Yu, predicting where he was going to be moving towards to with the 4-staff as well.
I saw the kill for them to find another tier 2 tower. And they're also taking away the Ancients as well. You do have Trill that's still getting farm across the map. This is a Bloodthorn now completed and into the Skadi. Again, just a... So, okay, we've spoken a lot about how we feel like the Naga Siren is not particularly going to have a whole lot of impact in just because of how Unity have been able to kind of draft against him and counter his hero. But if he is going to be able to get anything out of this game, who does he need to kind of target in the fights? What's his role?
I wonder what his actual role is as opposed to someone else. Sorry, they're making a charge onto the bottom side of Salad with the A on disc.
You gotta get out, guys. You haven't been able to get the kill instantly. Nice Nether Strike to be able to cancel out the Dismember, and with that, they should be able to escape. Hook was almost there fast enough. Will the rest of the team, though, make it out? Velky's considering about jumping Knight. Arrow just gonna be a little bit too shy. Now that'll cost him. They wanted to try and blow up the Lina, but with that opportunity going begging, it means the Tiny will be put in the grave as well.
They're even just instantly looking to make the push happen up onto the top side. They know Seimei, he's starting to work towards that next big item for himself in the Aghanim Scepter. They want to find that pick-off, but do they have the damage? That's my big issue. Without the epicenter, they're not going to, so they're going to need to wait for that next wave, and by the time that happens, Seimei might be able to get away, although...
Hang on. Yeah, into the middle they go. Dyro taking a fight without the numbers advantage. And Knight still got a double damage rune to utilize. Oh, it's a awkward fight. And Purple Paradox is going to show out in the end. And they might even get moody as well as MKS jumps over the tree line onto the Mirana. Another freebie for Radiant. And they're going to go higher, man. They can push pretty fast with this Lina.
Yep, no glyph either. It's going to be refreshed once they take this tower, but again, like, what do you have to actually stop this? They might be forced to use the Mortimer's Kisses all the way from the fountain just to try and get the creeps out of the base. Much better execution coming through this time around from Unity Gaming. Of course, it helps when the draft puts you at a big advantage, but again, you got to execute at the end of the day. Seimei. Having to be a little careful. But again, that should be 2 full lanes of Rax.
Knight needs to get some stacks up. Where the creeps?
They're coming.
There we go.
Oh, not there.
Or MKS. A pretty aggressive jump over. Cookie's going to be a little bit too short as well, so they don't disrupt it at the moment. Drill's up in a couple of seconds. They're going to be very cautious with how deep they're going to take these team fights, and the call is there from Unity. They're going to look to back up, but Seimei wants to stop it short. A charge onto Salad. A beautiful hook, though, is going to be able to reposition, and now Knight, well, he actually wants to stand his ground and turn it back around.
Like that little pump fake of the Nether Strike as well, just wanting that BKB to be popped. And now it's just a question of, will Unity Gaming look to overextend? Because without that BKB, you feel so much squishier on the Lina. And this time around, Knight, he's learned from his past mistakes, goes back to the safety of his own triangle. He knows that if they were to make this full-on movement towards him, mid lane, top lane, they're going to be pushing in on their own because of the current state of the barracks. So he can just look to play a little bit more defensively. He's got the boots of travel to be able to join the rest of his team if he really needs to. And he's even got LWW patrolling the way, potentially popping any of these smokes that might be looking to connect through onto him.
See if they can go for MKS. Not an easy attempt at all. Oh, the Scepter just got completed on LWW, so this might catch them off guard. Be so cautious on Purple Paradox if they just look to jump in, and see they are playing with caution. They're not going to go for the debate on the Pudge.
I think they can afford to be honest. Like, he really shouldn't be dying. Maybe just wanting to wait for the BKB to be back available, which it now is. But, you know, certainly Paladin Sword, level 24, nearly level 25, 20 flesh heap stacks, Lincoln Sphere. He is a tanky boy.
Dire's top barracks
Smoke
are
up.
Actually look to go for a smoke.
They have some
Not
pretty
bad, that
good
one.
control of the high ground. Smoke's going to pop. Valky with the reactions and they're out. But LWW's going to drop some vision down and they get the jump in. Burrow sets up for the hook, but the turnaround, the punch. His health pool just gets evaporated now. LWW's gone as well. Two heroes that they won't have to be able to take the team fight. Is this the recipe for success now? Dia, they can look to move in. A long charge from downtown. Who's he targeting? Who's he targeting? Onto Salad.
He's got the A on disc.
Pop.
Dire's middle
Jayu.
tower is under attack.
And they're going to give him the Lincolns as well. So, yeah. All right. Beautifully done. We see the recipe for success there on Purple Paradox.
Is Unity walking up onto high ground at night with no vision of themselves?
Yes. Yes. Quite.
Just need the enemy team to make mistakes. And no one's perfect, so it's bound to happen. But
Same, eh?
you want to be...
This is no bueno. It's going to run straight to the team. Whoa. Freshly completed MKB from Knight. Gold-like streak in this second game.
So what I was saying was, you want to be making mistakes that, like, you don't have as much control over, right? They chose to walk up onto that high ground. They chose to make that movement when there was, like, what, 2 creep waves pushing into their tower with no one defending it. So it was pretty obvious that they were going for some kind of smoke. And Purple Paradox were also set up to be able to defend this. And MKS, once again, did not use his BKB when he got a full 5-second arrow in onto him. So, like, there were many things that went right for Purple Paradox that time, but a lot of them were because of something that Unity Gaming did or didn't do, as opposed to anything that they did amazingly themselves. So, you gotta hope for either a few more of those things to go your way, because even despite that successful team fight, Knight's still able to take the Aegis for himself.
Yep, Shard given over to Xiaoyu, who is also level 25, highest level in the game for Xiaoyu. What a performance on the Sand King, a hero we don't see often, but he's looked incredible on it.
The blind really helps against the Naga as well. Just pop it in the middle of a team fight. He's got the extra Sandstorm radius as well at level 15, so it's just a whole lot of reduced damage.
Well, Valky's going to kind of reveal his position with that tree volley. Raiding it really close to his location as well. Jump in, Valky out in the lane, but Xiaoyu's there. Instant use of the song. Should be able to get out.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I was a little worried, like, the TP was a bit sooner by the Naga Siren there, but there's a bit of a lingering effect, and he has the Yule Scepter on Xiaoyu, so that could have been a disaster.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Alright, level 25 on Lena, level 25 on Podge in about, what, 5 seconds? He just needs to live for as long as possible. I don't think he should be worried at all about the dismember damage. Just get the flesh heap stacks, you've got plenty of kill involvements, become as tanky as possible, and just use rot. Simple as that.
I'm gonna go for MKS. Lena is not with the team. Lincoln's gonna be popped. MKS will be able to duck back to the rest of the boys, playing with their ward kind of towards the northwest side. Xiaoyu is actually going to jump in aggressively, wanting to bear the high ground. Will run to the force, but Purple Paradox are going to back off even further out to the east side.
They might just look to stay behind.
Hang on, Xiaoyu. They're going to waste all the tree volley duration. Hook's going to bring him down to the low ground as well. They get the glimpse onto the real Naga Siren with the axe as well. Knight can just go to work. A forced stuff to read a position, but Xiaoyu, what an epicenter onto 2 at the backline, tearing them apart with all the magical damage. And now Seimei might be in trouble as well. Another glimpse from the LWW into the instant LSA. Beautiful skirmish, and Valky's still sticking around. Oh, another member's going to be caught out, just hanging around too long, trying to clear out the creeps, and that might just be all 3 heroes without a buyback. They got mid lane shoved in.
Yeah, I don't think they need to go this safe route. Maybe just wanting to respect the potential Naga Siren buyback, but the game would be over if they just went for it. Stomped, yeah, with the gem being picked up, he's not going to get back to safety.
And he doesn't have a buyback as well. In fact, that's a dieback tier for the Snapfire. So, well, it's all on Valky. Let's see how much this tree volley is really going to do. Oh, MKS predicted it. Oh, he was ready for his position in the tree line. Just jumps in straight away. Jeez, it dropped and... Yeah.
Will Knight die, though?
Ooh. Has he got Aegis still? He's chilling, he's chilling.
Well, it's a result that they really needed for Unity Gaming. That brings them to, I want to say, 4-6. So a little bit ahead now of Xerxia on the bottom side of the table. Also, I believe that puts them slightly ahead of Little Gun because Little Gun are 4-10. So it gives them a few games in hand to be able to play around with for sure. But that was a much more cohesive performance, wouldn't you say? Like, I feel like they were playing game one like a pub, and game two they were like, all right, guys, we actually need to play as a team. We need to talk about when we're making our rotations happen, and we need to understand what we're playing against, and we need to, directly, not necessarily counter that, which, well, they did with the draft, but we need to adjust our play accordingly.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. It definitely felt like there was a, I don't know if stern is the right word, but there was definitely a talking in between the break, or maybe the communication and just the team play, gameplay overall, and we saw it be very different. Incredibly impressive performance from them, but man, their next couple of opponents is not easy. They still have to verse Geek Fam, which is their next series, which is our first series of tomorrow, in fact. And they've got to verse Fnatic still. They've got to verse Execration. True, I know we're not looking the greatest in regards to the win-loss. They're a little bit higher than Unity Gaming, but I mean, Execration is still a team that have some incredible players, and on their good day, they're not an easy team to beat. So Unity Gaming, they still got some really difficult teams to be going up against.
Oh yeah, for sure. And just speaking of how Execration aren't that great, guess who we got next? We got Execration taking on Spawn, I believe. So that'll be interesting. Spawn obviously are sitting 7-7. Execration 6-8. Both sitting, I would say, comfortably within the lower bracket slots. Maybe, I don't want to say it's slightly out of their reach, the upper bracket. Probably just that one spot remaining that Purple Paradox is currently occupying in 4th position is super valuable for both of these teams. So it should be a good one. I'm predicting a 1-1, but anything can happen.
Anything can happen indeed in Southeast Asian Dota, which puts us in an exciting position. Like, we've had all the games so far just been bloodbaths, and hopefully we have that in store for us for our next series as well. We've got to get the teams all ready and set in the lobby, and while we do that, we're going to chuck it over a break. We'll see you guys shortly.